What up, people? I'm the Godless Engineer, and tonight we're starting a new segment on the channel. This is to replace the prologue, which you guys, I'm sure, have seen before. Um, but the stand-up, in Scrum, in the agile environment, we have this idea of daily stand-up meetings where we talk about where we're at, what we're going to be doing until the next meeting, and then if there's anything holding us up. And so I would like to take that and kind of apply it here. And so we're going to have these stand ups where we talk about current news, where we talk about current problems, ways I think that they could be fixed or anything else that might be holding us up. So that is the purpose of changing the name of it. And so I really appreciate everybody being here. There's the default, and there's time for pancakes. There's Kinder in there. Sorry, I can't pronounce your full name. Still got this wicked cough. But first, before we get into how anti-trans laws actually backfire on the GOP, I would like to point out to you down below that I'm going to be playing Quantum Break tonight. It's the first playthrough, so you're going to get it from the beginning. Just go down there and hit that link after this is over, and you can watch me play. If you happen to be joining me after this is live, please go down there, hit that link, and watch me play. Now, first up, the first story is apparently there's still some pretty radical things happening for atheists in the Asian continent, mainly Bangladesh, Malaysia, stuff like that. This guy right here, he is a gay guy up in Canada who's seeking asylum in Canada because he's afraid to go back to Malaysia. The reason why he's afraid to go back to Malaysia is because he's a gay atheist student. He doesn't want to go back to his country because he fears that he might be killed. Now, as I can recall, I mean, Christians love to spout off in America how, they're oh so persecuted and they have to worry about being gunned down at a graduation because they spoke something about the Bible. If you don't know what I'm referring to, that's Jim Bakker speaking. And I just find it funny that atheists in other countries are having to worry about their lives. They are actually persecuted. And if you don't think that atheists are actually, violently attacked, this man right here, his name is Nazidabund Samad. He's the latest victim in an attack against an atheist blogger. He was hacked to death by an Islamist, and a lot of people like to say that these kind of attacks are not religiously motivated when, I mean, it's really hard for me personally to think about them as not being religiously motivated when they're screaming, Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! as they're like hacking away at us. I mean, or blowing us up, or anything like that. It's just ridiculous to think that they're not religiously motivated at all. But Samad here is the latest person that is a victim of an attack against an atheist blogger over in Bangladesh. I believe is where he was at. He joins others that have fallen, including Dr. Avijit Roy in February, Washimur Rahman in March, Anatab Joydas in May of last year, Niloy Neal in August, and Faisal Arifin Dipon in October of last year. So last year we had a lot of massacres over there. A lot of people were killed because of this religious intolerance by the Muslim community in those countries. They were acting on their religion. Their religion tells them to kill the unbeliever, to fight in the way of Allah. So it makes sense that they would be attacking atheist bloggers, those that blaspheme their God, that say that God is not real, or that there's no evidence for God. It makes complete and utter sense that they would take this route. And let's see. I find it shocking, just really shocking that it's come to that in these countries, that we have to be afraid for our lives. And and the dynamic between that and here in America, where you have a Christian population that is so hell bent on being persecuted that they just don't fucking care at all, that they're nowhere near being persecuted. I mean, they think that they're being persecuted because of the fact that that they can't push religion as a police officer, or they can't push religion as a government official. Like, they think that these things make them persecuted when it's really not. It's part of our Constitution. The First Amendment ensures that nobody from the church side can cross over onto the state side, and the state side can't cross over onto the church side. They're completely separate. Now, there is some contention when that comes to like the Catholic Church and their pedophilia problem, but that's not really the subject of this first particular story. I think that we just have to remember those that have fallen in other countries, those that have been atheists, even though that it would mean risking their lives. Like, even me down here in North Alabama, I don't feel like I'm risking my life being an atheist and being outspoken. Like, I don't think that at all. I mean, a lot of people want to say that I'm brave, but I'm really not. I'm just speaking my mind. And for the longest time, I didn't feel like I could. And so that's why I'm doing it now. I want to be a person that people can look to and be like, yeah, he speaks out, so I can speak out. And I just want to inspire people in that way. And I think that those in other countries that are being atheist activists, that are being activists in general, and they're risking their actual life, like they know people have been killed just because they don't believe in God, to know that is actively happening in your country and still be a professed atheist, that's a hero in my book. I mean, that's bravery in my book. And these men that have fallen, all of them have been just brave as fuck. And so I don't think that you should praise anybody like for being a hero unless they're kind of in this situation, because I mean, otherwise we're just doing what we do. I mean, I can't think of a single person out there that would think that they're being a hero just by posting shit on the internet. But that's a reality for these people over here in like Bangladesh and Malaysia. That is that is quite much, that is very much a reality for them to be called brave and heroic in order to do this and risk their lives. So I thought that was worth stressing. But next up we have Rebecca Bradley. Rebecca is a unique individual, I will say. Yeah, she's unique. She just got elected to the a 10-year term in the Wisconsin State Supreme Court. And she got elected at this term by saying shit like, heterosexual sex is very healthy in a loving marital relationship. Homosexual sex, however, kills. Let's see, what else did she say? But the homosexuals and drug addicts who do essentially kill themselves and others through their own behavior deservedly receive none of my empathy. Perhaps AIDS awareness should seek to educate us with their misdirected compassion for the degenerates who basically commit suicide through their behavior. This brings me to my next point. Why is the student government on a Catholic campus attempting to bring legitimacy to an abnormal sexual preference? I will certainly characterize whomever transferred their infected blood a homosexual or drug-addicted degenerate and a murderer. She was recently put up there at the Wisconsin State Supreme Court for a 10-year term. Now, if you don't know how Supreme Courts work, unless she dies, she's not getting unseated. So basically, this woman is up there serving, and she has such a shitty outlook on everybody, and she doesn't have a problem like pushing it through her place of business, like through her chair on the Supreme Court. She's not gonna have a problem doing that. The reason why I wanted to bring this up is not because she's a shitty person in general. and she probably doesn't deserve that seat. But it's the fact that I think that if religion has any part at all with your seat as a governing official, you quite literally do not need to be in that seat. Like, if you're voting for a person, that person just needs to be immediately disqualified. Now, I don't think that it should disqualify them officially from the race, but I think that in the minds of the voters, if someone's stance has anything to do with religion, that includes atheism, has anything to do with religion, I think that it should be disqualified in your mind as a potential candidate. There's a lot of people out there that have differing opinions on this, and I welcome them. Please comment in the live comment stream over there if you disagree or agree. Leave a comment down below in the comment section if you're watching this after it's live. But I would like to know what your thoughts are on, politicians using their religion in their seat to make decisions, basing their decisions off of religion. I know since religion and morality is kind of really intertwined, or at least they make it out to be, it's really hard to separate the two. But I think as a politician, that is one of the things that is really incumbent upon you to do, is to try to separate your religious preference for an objective look at how to govern your people, and how to make these judgments that she's going to be called on to make. I really think that that's important, that it's not important for you to hold on to these religious beliefs. Like, it's fine for you not to have a religious or to have the belief that homosexuals should be treated equally. I don't expect you to change your mind on that. You think that all you want to. Think about homosexuals getting AIDS and spreading AIDS and all that other kind of shit. But when you're in a political position, when you're in office, when you're a state Supreme Court judge, you need to be able to not let that affect your judgment. Like, even though you have a personal belief, you don't need that to affect your judgment on a situation. That's what you need. I think that if you do let it influence you, just think about all the crazy ideas that exist out there that people hold as sincerely held beliefs. And I think that you could come up with a whole bunch of fucked up shit that could happen in the Supreme Court if you were elected. I mean, of course, she was elected because she's got the same views as a lot of the population, and they voted for her. Maybe they didn't even know that she wrote these things. Maybe she seemed pretty much fucking normal at the time, but it's obvious that she hates the LGBT community. She hates, anybody with a different sexual preference. Whether that be part of the LGBT community or otherwise. So I really think that she doesn't need to be on the seat. I think that if a bill came up, or not a bill, but a court case came up, and it was like, well, this person thinks it was okay for him to stone a faggot in the street, and we think that that's murder. What do you think, Judge? And she's just gonna be like, well, faggots need to die, motherfucker. Yeah. I don't literally think that that's what, but I mean, I could see that happening if the right person, like this dickbag up here, actually gets into power. So that's why you need to be, concerned. When these types of people get put in power. There's several people in Texas that have been elected to these kind of positions that just don't need to be there. They use their religion way too much in their political position. And if we keep electing these people to these positions and they get to be such a force in our governing body, we're gonna have a theocracy. I mean, that would be Ted Cruz's wet fucking dream, I know, but it would be a reality. It would be a reality that they would pass legislation that is directly in support of the church, of the Christian church, of a specific Christian church, whatever fucking Christian church they're a part of. They would support it, since a lot of those Christians, like, unless she's a Catholic, unless the person is Presbyterian or something like that. I mean, there's going to be differing views. So that's why you need to separate out your religious beliefs And you need to separate out your religious beliefs with your actual job. You need to be able to try to look objectively at it, and so I know that this isn't going to get to her. I know that this isn't going to get to anybody, but I really hope that this, puts a seed in whoever sees this, and gets them to think about who they actually vote for. I hope that you will vote and you will actually take time to critically think about the people that you vote for, because we don't need more people like this bitch in office. Not at all. All right. Last up is the main one, and that's how the anti the discrimination laws that have been passed recently in both Mississippi and North Carolina and all that have been quite rampant. Now, the North Carolina governor has actually come out in support of the bill that passed. Of course he did. He fucking signed it, right? But he goes on to say this: well, our bill does not discriminate against anybody. Hey, yeah, right, okay. It doesn't discriminate against anybody except transgender people, except the LGBT community. Those are the people that you're discriminating against. Those are the people that you're saying, hey, what, you got to use the bathroom that identifies with how you were born. That's what you got to use. He goes on to say, in fact, the Charlotte ordinance was amazingly discriminatory against especially women and girls who no longer had the freedom to walk into a restroom and know they would be safe and secure. I would like to stop right there. And I guess that's why I had to cough. But I would like to stop right there and say that you are not restricted. Like, you're not losing the freedom by those anti-discriminatory laws. You're not losing the freedom to go into a bathroom. Whether or not you feel safe and secure, that's not part of that shouldn't be concerned with the law. Like, that has no place in our governing body, like whether or not you feel safe and secure. Now, laws may be, crafted and geared with that in mind, like, how can we do this? But it shouldn't be like the deciding factor in, like someone's own personal belief. Like if you can logically come to the conclusion that people would not be safe by doing something like legalizing murder. If you legalize murder, no, people wouldn't be safe, and that would be a good reason to factor that in. But see, in this instance, that these are just a certain set of people in the community that think that they're not safe. And I would like to point out a few things, because I've seen this kind of logic being pushed around everywhere, especially on the Facebook page. If you're not part of the Facebook page, go to facebook.com Godless Engineering and like it and join in on the conversations on the posts. But it's quite amazing that people will sit there and be like, well, look, listen, okay? I don't want no creepy ass old pedophile dressing up like a woman going into the women's restroom just because he feels dainty that day. And he goes in there and molests my daughter. I don't want it. I don't want any of it. None of it. Not at all. They go crazy and they think that that a pedophile is going to dress up as a woman and go into the women's bathroom. And I find that quite hilarious. And it's been pointed out. This isn't exactly an original idea to me. Which in the comment section that you can't see, Kinder actually said it's trans people who feel unsafe. And yes, they do. They do feel unsafe. And what I would like to point out here, and I forgot to pull this up beforehand, but what I would like to say is that the anti-discrimination laws, they are really backfiring on the GOP and people that do not support these laws, that do not support anti-discrimination laws. And the way that it backfires on them is this particular thing right here. Hold on, it's best if I show the image real quick. Okay, so that's Pastor Greg Locke right there, right? That's Aiden Dowling. That's Aiden Dowling. If you don't know who Aiden Dowling is, he is the man that won the men's fitness cover. He's also the first trans man to get on the cover. That's right. He was born a woman, but then he transitioned into a man because he felt like he was a man. And so that's how he identified. And he presents as a man and everything like that. Now, this is only one facet of the transgender community. Just keep that in mind. I know, like, for instance, the former PR director of American Atheists, he was a transgendered man. Crap, I can't remember. She was a transgender woman. I can't remember her name right now. I'm gonna kick myself in the ass later for this. But anyways, she was a transgender man. And she didn't really change her appearance. It was really too late for that. But she's a transgendered man. Now, the difference right here with Aiden is that under the logic that Pastor Locke here is suggesting, you use the bathroom of your birth, which is what a lot of people are saying now, that they don't want these laws because then pedophiles going to get in my bathroom. Well, what you're doing is you're sentencing people to do the exact thing that you don't want them to do. Like, you're concerned about a man walking into the women's restroom and using it because you think that they're all pedophiles. Which I would like to point out, by the way, that pedophiles, while most of them are men, there are women pedophiles. There are actually teams of men and women that would go out and hunt for girls and whatnot. You can look up any number of cases out there, but they do exist. So, the concern of, a pedophile is going to dress up like a woman, it's like, no, if a pedophile is serious about it, he'll just get him a woman that will do what he says or has the same kind of fetish as him and just send them in there to get the girl. So, your concern is you're really focusing on that for whatever the fuck reason. Maybe you don't like trans people. Maybe trans people make you feel all icky inside. Ew, 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 icky, 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 because they're different than me. Well, I have to say that the laws that you're passing right now, if you happen to be listening to this and you support these discrimination laws, and you think that it's going to prevent men from going into a bathroom, like Phil Robertson thinks, like whatever that fat fuck is, the fat fuck that was in the presidential race and then he dropped out. He was one of the early ones that dropped out. Fuck, I can't remember. Huckabee. That's right, Huckabee. He thinks that too. And for these people that think that you can just up and decide that you're a woman and go into the ladies' bathroom and molest a girl, you're sentencing trans men to actually do this. To be like, hey, I was a woman at birth, and I guess Chris Christie said that too. I was a woman at birth, and so I have to go and use the bathroom for that particular way I identified. So Aiden here would have to go to the women's bathroom. He, a man, presenting as a man, looking like a man, would have to go into the women's bathroom and use it. So your laws there are completely backfiring on you when you're passing these things. Because basically, instead of allowing, instead of allowing these transgendered people to go into the appropriate restrooms that they identify as, you're sentencing them to go into the restrooms identifying as the opposite sex. That's what you're forcing these people to do. And by the way, this isn't just for you, Pastor Locke. This is for everybody that thinks like you. You're being dumb. I honestly can't put it in a better way. You're being dumb as shit. You're focusing on such a fringe possibility that even if a man just up and decided, I'm going to be a woman today so I can get into that bathroom and molest a kid. not only is that a fringe on a fringe case, an edge case on this whole situation, like as far as allowing trans people to use the correct restroom, it's also a fringe on the fucking scale of pedophiles. Did you know that most pedophiles actually know you? So how about this? Instead of being so concerned about the random transgender person that wants to use a lady's bathroom because they 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 were born a man but then transitioned into a woman, instead of being afraid of that person, you should really be afraid of Uncle Johnny. You should be afraid of that sadistic motherfucker. Okay, because Uncle Johnny's over there eyeing your daughter up, and it's like, oh, I'll take her to the bathroom, and then they'll take him to the bathroom and molest him. There's more of a chance of that happening than there is of a random transgender person going into the appropriate bathroom and molesting your child. That is literally that's literally the case. That there's more of a chance of a family member or somebody that you know or an acquaintance that you know would molest, rape, whatever your children or your wife rather than random transgendered person. So anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed hanging out with me talking about these certain subjects. Let me know what you think about Pastor Locke's quote here. Let me know what you think about these discrimination laws in North Carolina, Mississippi, other places. Let me know what you think. Comment in the live stream right now or comment down below after this posts. I hope that you guys will join me for these regular stand-ups. We'll be having one on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So I hope that you could join me then. They will always be at 9:30 p.m. If you're interested in Quantum Break, go down below and hit that link because we're going to be playing some Quantum Break. We're also going to be looking for Alan Wake references in Quantum Break because I've seen a number of them in the Let's Plays that I've seen. So, anyways, I will see you guys later. Y'all have a nice night. Be sure to share this information around if you will. It would really help me out if you liked it and you shared this motherfucker. And I'll see you guys later. Y'all have a nice night.